Hi, I know you're expecting an episode of Sideways and that will follow in just a moment, but I wonder if you could help us. We've got more than 35 episodes of Sideways now, and I wonder if you could help us with a bit of feedback. Either now or after this episode, go to our website, stroud.church/feedback. That's stroud.church/feedback. It really helps us as we think about how to continue planning and thinking about the content of our Sideways. I hope you enjoy this episode.
In the last few weeks, I've been thinking a lot about leadership. The leadership behaviours we've witnessed from those charged with overseeing all of us at a national level have caused me to pause and reflect, as has the quiet stoicism of our monarch. And all the while, I'm contending with my own moments of clarity, purpose and inadequacy as a leader in my work in the NHS. I've seen a lot of leadership, and I've seen a lot of attempts at leadership. I think that I probably learned the most when I was a ward manager for a secure mental health ward. It was then that I realised the importance of situations where people arrived with anxiety and left with a plan. As one of my mentors used to say, fear and anxiety are infectious, but so are hope and confidence. I've often wondered what I might articulate as being the basis of my own model of leadership. Inevitably, after 4 decades of worship, study and discipleship, the model of Jesus would at first glance seem to be fairly influential. And the people that care about me would probably agree that I do have an over-reliance on the self-sacrifice, get the job done or die trying way of doing things. I'm also very aware that while the follow me, we're all in this together approach has its place in the here and now, on its own, it rarely leads to the kind of dispersed, sustainable leadership that is needed in large, complex systems. So what are the characteristics of Jesus' leadership that need to inform how I go about my work trying to improve and sustain mental health services? What do we need in our churches? What do we need in wider society and government? I think there are perhaps 3 things that come to mind. First of all, consistency. Jesus absolutely lived his mission. He embodied it in every account we have of his life and ministry. Someone once said to me, if you want to lead change, hold strong principles, verbalise them, and act on them consistently. People knew what he stood for because they could hear it and see it. Secondly, adapting to change. Just like for all of us, things happened around Jesus. Plans changed, he changed his approach. He met people and realised different needs. A woman seeking healing while he's on his way to a different appointment is a good case in point. But while plans need to change, principles don't. The COVID pandemic required a huge amount of change in the NHS, but it also allowed us to really return to our first principles of preserving life and protecting the most vulnerable from exclusion and injustice. Thirdly, being prepared to challenge. I wonder if this is the hardest one of all. People often think of Jesus meek and mild, and yet the reality is he was endlessly challenging his friends, the people who came to listen to him, and of course he reserved his harshest words for those with assumed authority. I don't really like conflict. In fact, I've spent most of my clinical career trying to prevent and resolve it. Challenging when things are wrong is not easy, and yet I've learned that it's essential. Sometimes there is an obvious victim in a scenario, but being required to deal with such situations many times, it's clear to me that it's just as much in the interest of the perpetrator for the situation to change. When Jesus tackled the Pharisees, he wasn't trying to exclude them, he was offering them the chance to be part of a better future. Consistency, adaptation and challenge. Those are three fundamentals which I think can truly make a difference. My final thought is on what is perhaps the most overused word in the NHS, compassion. Referenced in hundreds of contexts, and yet I sometimes wonder if the people who use it have really thought about its origin and derivation. Compassion. It means to suffer with, to actually share in someone's experience. Put simply, what Jesus shows time and time again is that he really feels it, deep at the centre of his being. So I wonder if after all that, perhaps the most important leadership skill of all is simply caring.